are going to talk about the 4-2-3-1 formation, and how disastrous it has been for Algeria. The 4-2-3-1 is a formation with a 4-man back, 5 midfielders, 2 defensive and 3 attacking, and a center forward. The structure of this tactical formation is a variation of the 2-4-4-2 and 4-3-3. The 2 red rectangles on the left and on the right have 4 players each, and in the yellow rectangle, we have 2 players, therefore, 4 plus 4 plus 2. And the way it is converted to 4-4-2 is to move the 2 players from the red rectangle to the black rectangle and line them up with the defensive midfielders and move the other 2 players to either side outside of the yellow rectangle. And of course the 4 defenders stay where they are. For the 4-3-3 conversion, the 2 players in the red rectangle come out and line up with the player in the yellow rectangle, the center forward. The other player in the yellow rectangle steps back and lines up with the 2 midfielders' defensive line spread in space. And the 4 rear defenders keep the same places. Let's now explore passes and connections between players. To simplify the process, the easiest method is to use short, precise ball passes, within the same rectangle, then a transition outward. On the other hand, if all players have to participate in passing the ball, the process becomes so complicated. Notice how each player has multiple connections and passing channels to exploit when on the ball. This training is exhaustive, and requires a high level of physical capacity and endurance. This overload system requires at least 2, or more often 3, players in each area of the field, to move between the rectangles we have illustrated. Now let's talk about the disadvantages of this training. If players are out of position or cannot get back to defense in time, such as during a counterattack, the opposing attack will have a huge advantage and a lot of free space. The burden is on the defensive midfielders. If they can't enter the blue defensive triangle in time or leave the red midfield circle in time, the defense will have huge free spaces. In this attack, we can see all the players did their duty and came back to their defensive position, and logically as it's supposed to. The formation went to 4-4-2. Until here, everything is like it should. But after the right back went out of his position briefly, the defensive midfielder should be deeper in the penalty area. This caused a defensive unbalance and a huge gap. The center back should have advanced by now toward the striker with the ball and prevented the pass. Let's go back to the vulnerability of this formation, and let's talk again about the importance of defensive midfielders. If they are out of position or come back late, the whole formation collapses. In this illustration, the role of the defensive defender is to move out of the red circle and into the blue triangle. Failure to do so is a disaster. Like in this goal action, only 3 defenders are in position and the other players are slow to return. As the attack continues inside the penalty area, we still don't see the midfielders in the triangle we talked about. By now we should have at least 2 defensive midfielders and all 4 defenders in the penalty area. If not, it's a goal, like see it here. At the start of this attack, the formation was as it should be in 4-4-2. After 2 passes, the defense has lost its formation and we only see 3 defenders, and after the 3rd pass, we can see how the formation has not worked. The center back and fullback are expected to close the gap sooner. And we still cannot see the midfielder back in the zone. And the end result was this goal. In conclusion, let's talk about the function of each player vis-à-vis this formation. The midfielders should be back together with the rest of the defense and keep the 4-4-2 or the 4-3-3 until the penalty area. But thereafter the formation collapsed. We see the 3 defenders were not quick enough to close the gaps and let the attack continue. They even stay behind offensive players. Unfortunately, this formation forces all players advance through positional rotations if necessary and return to the defense except for the center forward. Furthermore, the central and fullbacks rotate to each side, but that was not the case in this action. We only see 4 defenders in the penalty area. Thank you for watching this analysis of this formation tactic. Please do not forget to watch our other videos and to subscribe to the channel.